Hey YouTube, Shinobi here with a review of the Figma Kamen Rider Wing Knight from Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. Figma SP016. Dragon Knight was 15, Wing Knight is 16. It's pretty much the same package, just replace all of the Dragon Knight stuff with Wing Knight. And lots of pictures back here. And turn the box blue. So, there you go. I still love that background. It's like a broken mirror with the gold symbol and stuff. It's really cool. So we'll pop that back here and take a look at the figure. Get all nice close and personal. So here we have Wing Knight, also known as Kamen Rider Knight in Ryuki. But anywho, here is his head sculpt. Again, I think Figure Arts would do better head sculpts, whereas Figmas definitely have a better body sculpt. Here's his advent deck down here. A little bit blacker than it really should be, but that's fine. His shoulder pads wiggle a little bit, but that's fine too. That's just how they're built. Here is his arms and his legs. Pretty much all the same mold for these guys. Just obviously repainted. And his inside body suit thing is different than Dragon Knight's as well. And obviously his shoulder pads, his upper chest, and his head sculpt is different. Same thing on the back here. And then this one also has a holster for his dark visor that we will take a look at right here. Right here. Lots of detail on that. It doesn't open, sadly. But you can see the bat design in there. And the length of the sword. So here's the dark visor. It does fit in his hand just fine. Speaking of hands, we've got the same hands that came with Dragon Knight. The splayed opened action hands, relaxed hands, holding hands, a drag visor hand for some reason, and a card holding hand. Speaking of the card, it is right here. See how little and tiny it is. Here's his final event card. Right there, all nice and tiny. I still don't know what happened to Dragon Knights. I took it out of the package and it disappeared. I'll find it at some point, but anyway. Hands, card, and then it also comes with his sword vent. Right here, looking really badass. And definitely going to be displayed with this guy. So, I'll save the best accessory for last after I demonstrate some things. So let's flip this hand out for a holding hand so we can put the dark visor in it. Just like so. Pop that in there. Here's his hand joint just in case you didn't see the Dragon Knight review. It's just a simple peg, and yes, there is a chance of it breaking. So the only thing I don't really like so far is that these guys don't seem to be able to hold their weapons as well as they should. It's really loose in his hand, so you kind of have to wedge it in there so it's a little bit tighter. But it does look pretty cool. Not as cool as this thing, but really awesome. So let's just pop that out. Put it back in his holster for now. Just slides right in and just kind of sits here. And here is the sword vent. It fits in the same hand. A little bit better. Obviously, I don't think he would hold it that high. That just seems kind of goofy. But here's his giant lance. That is his sword vent. Really cool. It's one of the cooler weapons, I think, just because it's a giant fucking lance. I mean, how'd you mess with someone with that big of a stabby thing? It's like, nah. So anyway, there we go. Articulation-wise, head isn't hindered by anything at all. Full rotation there, even though his sword was just blocking it. Like I said, I have a little bit of problem with his shoulder pads being a little bit floppy, but I'll take a look at that later. But yes, full 360 on the shoulders here. Wrist, high amounts of wrist swivel because of the way the joints are. Single joint right here at the elbow, actually it's a double joint. Never mind. The leg is a single joint acting as a double joint. The fact that you can do that with a foot or a leg is just really cool. And the foot is on a ball joint, but it's a really tight ball joint. So for all you complaining about the figure arts having ball jointed feet, here are some ball jointed feet done right. Just letting you know, they're not all that bad. Alright, so let's get him in a cool final pose. He doesn't like holding that all that well, and this arm is loose. Let me fix that. Alright, all fixed. The best accessory ever is this guy. This is part of his final vent, where Blackwing swoops down and attaches to his back, and then he curls up into like a drill and goes pfft. But obviously it doesn't do that, but it does act as a really badass cape. So here's the piece of Blackwing right here. It plugs right into the stand hole on his back, and then his little booby things here plug into the slots right there. So it fits in really well. And the best part is it's a nice cloth material back here that actually feels really nice. On the back, it's a very nice pleather looking material, and it just looks really badass. If this was a figure art, it would be a plastic cape, and that just wouldn't look as good for this guy, to be honest. It worked okay for Dark Kiva and Kiva Emperor, but just not for this guy. And best of all, there is a wire down here, a very thin wire, so you can go like this and that, and raise that up a little bit, and like get some really epic cape swooshingness. So something along the lines of like this. We'll mess with it, so we'll just stick that in there, and just line up the pegs and push in, and there we go. That should be tight enough. So you can have it like swoop around him, and then epic in the back, or stuff like that. There's tons of different things you can do. But overall, just looking like an absolute total badass, like Wing Knight usually is. So it can be all like, yes, sup, I'm Batman, and shit. And best of all, like I said, it comes with a stage. All of the Figmas come with stands. Here it is. Really cool. And he also comes with a little Figma bag. I didn't go over that, but you can fit the figure and all the accessories in there if you don't keep the box. So really cool. Their Max Factory is a little bit more thoughtful than Bandai is. They would make you buy the bag. So this just plugs right into Blackwing's back. So it kind of acts as a port to a port. It doesn't fit in as well, but good enough. I mean, it's not going to fall. So just kind of raise that as straight up as you want to. Make them look up. Make him do some sort of like action-y kick thing. We'll swap his hand out. We'll give him a splayed open action hand, just so he's pretty awesome. And his actual upper final vent portion actually has him with it just straight down, like this. But I thought that looked pretty dumb, so I'm going to pose him like this, just because that looks a little bit more epic. And then we'll just mess with the cape a little bit. And then angle him back a little bit, because it looks like he's dashing forward, and that's strange. So something along the lines of that. I'll mess with it a little bit more. But it's just totally awesome. Is Wing Knight worth it? Absolutely. Out of the two that are out right now, Torkin and Sizer are supposed to be out, but they got pushed to February. So, they'll be getting here whenever they get here, I guess. But out of the two, Wing Knight is definitely the superior mold. Well, not really mold, but just the fact that his accessories don't require you to totally dismantle his arms like a Dragonite here. And the fact that he has epic cape and then epic giant lance. is probably the coolest thing ever. So definitely recommend Wing Knight. If you only pick up one out of the two that are out right now, definitely choose Wing Knight. You will not be disappointed. He's just that badass. So once again, I recommend both Figmas. If you're scared of getting into the line, don't be scared. Just embrace it, hug it, love it, etc. Just absolutely phenomenal figures, and honestly, like I said, they'll beat Ryuki figure arts for sure. I see no real way the figure arts can come back from as masterpiece of figures as these are. So you can check out our written review and the podcast at ridersrangersrumbles.com, and of course check out my personal blog at shukuinshinobi.wordpress.com, and you can follow me at Twitter at shukuinshinobi. So take care and have a great one. Bye.